Good afternoon, Mathewsons. What is it you're wanting to know?
In Pickering, there's never a quiet moment. As the last auction lots leave, it leaves room for more. And today's nominated Mathewson for an awkward collection is Derek's eldest grandson, Jack.
Peugeot 205 GTI at Wharfdale. It's in a small little garage around a tight alleyway. So obviously that's why I'm going again. But I'm looking forward to it, to be fair. A bit of a challenge, hopefully, again. I think Sam's coming with me. He's got a day off, so I said he can jump in the lorry and give me a hand if we get stuck. Every time I go out, there's always something. So it should be a nice little easy day out on a Friday. Or am I speaking too soon? Who knows? So that'd be good.
Been in the garage since 2003. My greatest car, really. I really love driving this car. I put it there with the intention of coming back and looking after it and running it more, but I just couldn't do that anymore.
In West Yorkshire, Bob Power is about to say a fond farewell to a grizzled but garaged old friend, a 1987 Peugeot 205 GTI.
I actually had a 1.6 version of this before the 1.9. I only had that for about 18 months, and when the 1.9 came out, I couldn't resist that extra bit of power.
It was 1984 when a pocket rocket to rival the Golf, the 205 GTI, hit the road, and plenty of other things en route. Riding in the back seat of one made you feel very, very sick, as your driver inevitably drove it way too fast around tight corners. The car thieves of the decade sent insurance premiums through the roof. Like your Filofax, gone but not forgotten.
Fantastic car. I've driven lots of cars, and this was always the best to drive. We did a lot of travelling actually in it, up to John O'Groats, down to Land's End and into Ireland as well. So it's done a lot of miles, but it was great fun, especially back in the 80s and 90s when the roads were a lot quieter. Considering it's been in the garage for 20 years, I think it's in reasonable condition. Obviously, the bodywork's going to need a little bit of work on it. Mechanics. It drove into the garage literally 20 years ago and it was fine. Probably had an MOT when it came into the garage. Everything was working fine, so it's literally, sadly, just been parked here for 20 years. I think I've started it up a couple of times after that, but that was it really. Can't free the brakes up at the moment. But other than that, there's nothing I know that was wrong with the car when it came in here at that time. Well, I'd love to see it back to the condition it was in. There you go. Can I walk inside?
There's no moths flying out there, is there?
No, there isn't actually. Actually, it's not bad. Still a smell of car there as well, so yeah. Even after all these years. No, it still doesn't look too bad inside the car either. Really, considering it's a one-owner vehicle as well, which is slightly unusual, I suppose, for something going back to 87.
The Peugeot's demise, though, came about when it was replaced as the centre of Bob's affections.
Got this amazing passion for climbing mountains back at the end of the 90s, and I went all over the world, South America and Nepal, the Alps, Turkey, and climbed some amazing mountains. I couldn't afford my passion for mountains with driving the car. I've ended up parked in the garage for 20 years, and on occasions I actually forgot it was still here. I've never come across another car that actually matches it for driving. It's a sad moment for me, really, but I've got to move on. I've still got a desire to go out and do some more things in retirement, and that's going to involve a lot more cycling. I want a camper van next, so so that's where I am, really.
Bob Power's Peugeot is about to end its 2-decade-long sojourn in a West Yorkshire garage.
Just after all these years, it does seem strange. Finally knowing it's going to leave.
Good morning, Bob.
Hello.
I'm Jack. You all right, mate?
Yeah, good.
Good lad, this is Sam. Brought the team with me, look. I didn't know how much of a challenge it was going to be, you see.
Yeah, I can't get the brakes off.
Right. Hopefully, when we pull it with that winch, they might just free themselves off. How long's it been in here?
Oh, 20 years.
Has it?
Yeah, literally.
Blimey.
It's quite sad, really.
Well, it's genuine, isn't it? Yeah, I was more just trying to think how I'm going to get that angle right. That old chestnut again. It's always me who gets the tricky ones, isn't it?
Yeah. And with Jack unable to get his vehicle in line, what's needed is some precision pulling.
Oh, hang on. Whoa. That's not going to work on there, is it? No. No.
It's just going to pull it over if we're not
pull
careful.
it over, isn't it?
Grab that, Jack.
With the front brakes jammed on, a trolley jack might help ease the Peugeot out.
You'll have to just go left hand down a bit on the steering, Sam.
Brings me to easy ones, doesn't it?
It's determined that it wants to stay there. It's its home. 20 years of being parked there. It doesn't want to go now. Whoa, it's just pulling sideways, that's all.
That is well stuck on.
Whoa.
No? All right?
Yep. Stubborn thing, Bob.
It certainly is, yeah. Brakes are well locked.
Right.
Whoa.
I've got it over a bit, though. If you can just come that bit more, just past that door, then it'll pull itself out. All right?
Yeah. Yeah, go on.
All right, on the garage?
Yeah.
Gonna go down that step.
Whoa.
That'll do for now. We can get the winch on it, lock it hard round, it'll pull out.
pull out.
Yeah, what a little bugger.
Just as I remember. A bit lucky, but yeah. Wish it had come out a bit easier than that, but never mind.
We've had a lot worse, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
We've had a lot worse. It's awkward, isn't it? It don't want to slide.
I'm surprised the front brakes don't seem to have freed themselves. The back ones are freed up, but not the front.
Keep going.
Disappointing.
Put all your weight on that ramp so it doesn't lift up in a minute. Just lean on this front wing with me. Yeah, keep it like that. That'll do it. Well done, Bob.
Oh dear. Just pulled that away slightly, unfortunately, Mike.
I wouldn't worry too much. There's a fair other bits that I'd be more worried about first. Reserve, what would you want to put on the sheet?
I'd put 5,000 on it, but I don't know if that's too high really now. 4 would be as...
That sounds better.
4, yeah. So if we can get it sold up.
Well, we'll certainly try our best for you, mate.
Right, thank
Good
you.
lad.
Right, thank
You've been
you.
a star. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
help, lad. Bit of a carry on, but we got there in the end, didn't we? Good. Well, nice to meet you, Bob.
Yeah, okay, see ya. Oh dear. Right. It's reached the end of its life in some ways. I'm just hoping someone can put it back together again. A little bit sad it's gone, but it needed to go, I think. You can see that 20 years has taken it out of it in there. So I'm pleased it's gone now.
Yeah, she's going to want a bit of rest though, isn't she? But it's there. They were above like XR3s and they were sort of on par with RS turbos and things really, you know, for being, you know, fancy about town. Yeah, no, 1.9 Peugeot GTI was on your list of cars to have. You know, your tick list was that.
Bob's 1987 Peugeot 205 GTI is coming under Dave's experienced eye.
It's an original little GTI as you're ever going to get, isn't it? What a level little thing.
The brakes were properly seized.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Yeah, she's all right. Spare wheel still there. Don't know what's pushed that out.
That could have been when we were trying to pull it out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe is that. Yeah, that just wants pulling and that'll sit back down again with that. Yeah. What a level little car. And the Touristy had a heavy clutch. Well, that's not too bad, that. And you can live with that. The whole thing would come back really well. This is nothing. A little bit on the seat here. Nothing. That can be done. And that material, most importantly, that can be saved. That can be recoloured up and treated. So very little in the way of expense inside. A year ago, 6 months ago, 12, 13, 14 grand for a really nice one. The market's dropped. You could probably buy that same car now for 10, 11. So even if you made the most lovely job of this car, end value would still only be not a great deal more than 10,000 quid, which makes some of these cars financially unviable, doesn't it? That's the trouble. Shouting 3.5 grand to me.
But Dave can see a way forward that might broaden this hot hatch's appeal.
Get away with giving it a humongous service, massive clean inside, and then a big clean outside. Had the wheels refurbed, spent 150 quid on that driver's seat, and in touching one or two of these little bits of rust. You can actually make quite a car of that. Subject to those floors being good, that is a perfect car for a DIY restorer. Let's have a quick look at the floors. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, brilliant, that surprised me. Yeah, that car would sell better if you turned it upside down. I did not expect to see that. Oh, well, that's given me a little bit more vavaroom, I think, however they say. Yeah, that's a real straightforward restoration, that, for, you know, not necessarily a professional restorer, you know. That could be tackled by someone with just a bit of savvy. Make a job of that.
As ever, when auctions approach, space is at a premium. With around 600 lots, every square inch is precious.
Now Charlie's getting the teleporter to move this block.
And Charlie and Rennie are on the case.
It involves moving cars, cleaning them, trying to get them running when people just drop them off in the street. Whatever's to do, we just get on with it. It's a bit like playing chess. We're moving cars all the time. Some better than others. I'm not so good. Charlie's better than me. Hey, Charlie. I'm not best driver. I ran into a tractor, what, a year ago in my Mini. Didn't see it. Try our best, we're only human, but when you've got 400 cars, 250 motorbikes, and all that, it's hard.
A few days to go, and time for the potential buyers to seek out their dream cars. And if you're a child of the 80s, there's a little pocket rocket just for you.
If you like your French cars and you want a 70s, 80s hot hatch, it's a Peugeot 205, isn't it?
Little Peugeot. It wants a little bit of love and recommissioning, doesn't it? They were a great little car, weren't they?
1987 Peugeot 205 GTI. On sale from the word go.
Been in the garage 20-something years.
Straight little motor.
Yeah, it'll make a car.
Make a car. Yeah, well, it's priced accordingly, isn't it? That's the thing. Right, here we go then, where we are. 4,600, 4,800, 4,800 I got. 4,009, 4,900, 5,000. 1, 51. 51 is the 2, 52 there is. 52, 53, 54, 5, 55, 56, 5,600, 57. 5,800, 5,900. On its way then, sold and gone 6,000 pounds. Thank you for your bidding, everybody. 6,000 pounds. You'll have a night 61, 62. Bit to do through the winter. Going then, 6,200 all done. Then I'm going to sell it 6,200. 62. Thank you.
Just shows, doesn't it? You know, some of these lovely old, true classics are really struggling. And this sort of thing, the modern classics, if you like, on the up, aren't they? Middle-aged guys like me, we don't want to run around in 1950s cars. You know, they're too slow. They're not exciting enough. We want hot hatches and stuff, you know, 70s, 80s, 90s stuff. That is the trend, isn't it? And that's where the values are going. Simple as that.
Congratulations on winning the Peugeot. So you're going to make it a rally car? You and your son? Oh, so you didn't want one with a sunroof? That's interesting. Well, I'm really pleased for you, so congratulations. Bye. Oh, bless him. Couldn't quite get to why there shouldn't be a sunroof, but yeah, so it's going to be a rally car.
I think it's because they,
If it tips over, their head will fall out, wouldn't it?
Perfect. Okay, very much. No problem.
What it is, just look at the mountains, look all around you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in life? I think all of us in our youth, we all wanted cars that we couldn't afford. We always had ambitions to have better cars. Yes, it may be 40 years too late, but we can all relive our youth, and that's what I'm going to do with it.
In the Swansea Valley, a delighted David Phillips has had his Peugeot 205 1.9 GTI for 3 months, and he's sharing his joy with his son, Liam.
I always wanted one as a young boy, but I can never afford one with a young family. So when I found out the Mathewsons were selling one, and I decided to buy it to turn it into a rally car for my son to use.
We've always enjoyed motorsports. After all these years now, my father's pushing me now to do rallying. So it's a new venture, something I've never done, but let's have it.
When it came down, it was a standard car. Since that, we've changed the seats, the wheels and tyres, all the suspension is done in it. We've added these. Obviously, in the night it's very dark. You're going to need them. We put these catches on to keep it down, because all cars have known to lose them on it. We fitted air-ons on the car. Not only can you hear us coming, but they can hear us as well. And we've done a lot to the engine mounting, so the engine is where you want it in the car, not rolling around. As you can imagine, the car goes through so much stress when it's under pressure. It's going through twice as much to do what we're going to do with it. But what a car.
Well, we've had to fit bucket seats, roll cage, quick action gear sticks, telematics on the harnesses, the 3-point harnesses.
Everything was on the car now. The car is ready to go racing, and racing it will go.
And conveniently, at their yard in Neath, they have their own handy test track.
I've always thrown him into the deep end. That's what we know. That's the way I brought him up. He'd punch above his weight, I'm sure.
When I'm sat behind the wheel, it's unbelievable. I've never known a steering wheel to shake so much. It's something I'm not used to be honest. It is an animal. All over controlling it. What a car, to be honest. What a car. Flies around the corners. You can't control it.
Yeah, very proud. You can't ask for more than that. To see a smile on somebody's face is wonderful. I'd like him to do a couple of these rallies because I've done them myself, and it's something you'll never forget. It's just a memory, and life without memory is not a nice life.
And crucially, this is an adrenaline buzz father and son can share.
From a young age, I've always had a passion for car rallying all my life. Unfortunately, it's taken till now, this part of my life, to find the time to do it. And thankfully, I got some health. I'm going to make the most of it and enjoy the car with my son.
Brilliant. Oh, this is lovely. Brilliant.
From growing up from a young age, doing enduro bikes all over the country, from trials, enduros, met fantastic people. We've had some brilliant times, but it'd be exciting now to jump into the night rally game, and to do it with my father is even better.
Lovely sound in it.
Yeah. Better than a Ferrari, and to me they are. You know, I don't want a Ferrari. These cars that especially rally cars, I say, anybody who's got a passion for rally cars will understand what I'm saying. But the noise, the smell, the knocks, the bangs, it's just something that keeps you going. It takes you right back to the day that you've always wanted one. Life is one big memory. It's what you make of it.